Hi guys, Dr. Greg Hickman from BLOCKJOCKS and the Andrews Institute here in Gulf Breeze, Florida. There's a lot of sort of controversy about how much volume to inject on a adductor canal block, initial injection. The literature will show 20, 30 cc's in some studies. There's been an article where I think 20 or 30 cc's, one actually tracked up and they ended up with femoral quad weakness due to the local getting up to the femoral nerve. Here a couple of years ago, I actually took a leg and injected 10 cc's of dye into a cadaver and dissected it out, and our spread was about 15 centimeters in the canal, in the adductor canal, with that 10 cc's. And so for the last couple of years, we've been using just 10 cc's here with all our adductor canal blocks, and we've had very, very good success. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to recreate that today, and so you can see it, and we can show and try to encourage people to see that just 10 cc's is plenty volume and all is necessary for an adductor canal block. Okay, so we're going to start, go about mid-thigh. Remember, for adductor canals is where I like to go, is mid-thigh, halfway between the knee and the hip. Go on the medial thigh. The leg's a little rotated out. A lot of people like to frog leg these anyway, and this one's frog legged. I don't usually do that, but that's the way this one is, so we'll work with it. I'm going to show you some anatomy here. Right here, you see the sartorius muscle, sort of this classic shape here of the sartorius. Right, I like to get the artery right in the middle of the sartorius. So here's our artery. Of course, it's not beating on this patient. The vein's going to be a little deep to that down here, and our area of injection is going to be in this hyperechoic area here, where the adductor canal is actually in between the sartorius, vastus medialis, and this adductor muscle. And here's our injection point right here, the hyperechoic area, just to the anterior side of the artery. Now, the other thing that's kind of interesting here, you can see what I think is the nerve to the vastus medialis, laying right here under the sartorius. And down at the mid-thigh, it's usually out of the canal. If you come up proximally, way up here, like if you're going to do a pre-op injection up higher to try to get your catheter up under the tourniquet, then your nerve to the vastus medialis actually ends up in this space in the adductor canal with the saphenous nerve. But down here at mid-thigh, usually all you have in this hyperechoic space is going to be the saphenous nerve, and the adductor and the nerve to the vastus medialis is going to be out here just anterior to it. So if you're approaching like we do from an anterior approach, then you got to be aware of that, and you don't want to hit that nerve on your entry. Okay. So of course this is the vastus medialis muscle over here. That nerve will come out, as you go a little more distal, will come right out into the muscle. So sartorius, artery, the canal we want to inject, this hyperechoic area right here. All right, so we're going to take our needle, nice blue food coloring, and I'm going to come in basically anterior thigh so I can see my needle well. This is very different. So here's our needle. We're approaching. Going to get right up under the sartorius, pop just through the fascia of the vastus medialis, and then we want to inject here. Give me 1 cc right there. Okay. Wow, you can see the canal open up really well there. Okay, give me 1 cc right there. Okay, give me 2 more right here. You can see how we're opening up this space just to the right of the artery with hypoechoic fluid. Okay, 2 more right there. Okay, this is going beautifully, really opening up our adductor canal. Give me 2 more. And this is how we usually do it in increments of 1 to 2 cc's till we get to 10. That means that's 8, and it'll give us the last 2. And you see the opening there at the tip of the needle. So we'll bring our pointer back down. The artery's here. There's the saphenous nerve, and now it's surrounded by all this dye now, which would be our local anesthetic, that's opening up this little space. Just to the right, or the anterior side, we're coming in with our needle from anterior to posterior, and we have our probe on the medial side. So the space we want to go to is on the anterior side of the artery. Some people think you need to get back here posteriorly. We've found you really do not. If you do all your injection right there and open up that space, that'll be what you need with just 10 cc's. The nerve, anatomy books say the nerve crosses from the anterior to the posterior side of the artery. It does that way distal. We followed it out, and that usually doesn't happen until you're down about 3 or 4 centimeters above the knee. So you don't really have to worry about getting posterior to the artery with your injection. Just keep it all anterior. So there you can see our needle right there with our arrow right at the tip of the needle and the saphenous nerve right there. So we've got the needle right under the nerve, and a really nice picture. So we'll conclude this part, and then we'll dissect down and see how much spread we got in our adductor canal. So we're going to see what we come up with. So start dissecting in. Need 15 cc, so I'm going to come in about like this. Okay, so here we are. I'm not a surgeon, as you can obviously tell, but you can see the sartorius wrapping from lateral to medial here to come into the knee, and then the vastus medialis underneath it. I'm starting to actually see dye. I did the injection here, and I can actually see dye under the sartorius way down here. So there's already 10 centimeters right there with just our 10 cc's. So we're going to keep trying to dissect this out a little more. You see the dye down here? That's probably where the adductor canal actually opens up, and the dye has gone all the way down distal to where the artery is pulled away from the sartorius, and the canal is kind of opening up at the end there. That's where that is. Just trying to free up this sartorius so we can look under it. So again, our needle's coming in. I still have the needle in the leg and the anterior thigh. It's coming in here. You can see the dye spreading all the way down the canal down this far, almost to the knee. You see the dye right there. Okay, so guys, our needle is coming in right here, and so the scissors are going to represent the injection point for our 10 cc's of dye in the adductor canal. So just below the scissors is where the needle is coming in. As you can see, this little ruler here is 6 inches or 15 centimeters in length. So the dye is spread all the way down 15 centimeters distal to the injection, and it's spread up 15 centimeters proximal to the injection. So 10 cc's of volume has in essence spread 30 centimeters in the adductor canal. And as you can tell, we're up almost to the femoral nerve here. The femoral nerve is just an inch or so more proximal to where this dye gets to. So we had an incredible spread of volume of just 10 cc's in the adductor canal to go from basically the knee almost to the femoral nerve. So in our opinion, 10 cc's is plenty of local anesthetic to block the adductor canal. If you get half this spread, if you get 15 centimeters, you should have a great block. And so that's why I wouldn't recommend giving 20 or 30 cc's and increasing your risk of getting more proximal spread and getting motor weakness from a femoral nerve block. And I'm gonna try to dissect down here and just get a little deeper and see if I can dig out the nerve and the vessel, the artery in the adductor canal here in just a second. You can see this is where our needle came in, and again spread approximately 15 centimeters, and again distally 15 centimeters. And that's where our injection was. We just left the needle in. I just dissected down to get to it and pull it up so it could be right over the canal. Pretty awesome spread. Now obviously we don't know if his body recreates this, but I would think it'd be somewhat indicative of the spread you're going to get. And what's nice is you see it doesn't spread out this way or this way. It spreads up and down the canal nicely, which means that also is another indicator you don't need huge volumes if you're going to spread up and down the nerve like that. So guys, as you can see, with a simple 10 cc injection, you can get a significant spread in the adductor canal, both proximally and distal to your injection point. As you can see from our needle here, we spread 15 centimeters below, 15 centimeters proximal, distal and proximal, and with just 10 cc's of volume. So I don't think 30 or 20 cc's is necessary to do this block. Obviously, we can't correlate this with the human body specifically, but I think it's a good indicator of the kind of spread we're getting with our patients. Thank you.